Morning everyone, and welcome to day 17 of the 30-day strength program. Thank you again for everyone who sent in your comments yesterday. I think it will come as a pleasant relief to a lot of you that we're not going to be doing any more sort of upper body work today. However, we are going to be looking at another area in the lower body, targeting lots of muscle groups that I feel is a weakness among many, particularly runners. And that is looking at squats. So we're going to actually look at quite a bit of sort of technical points today as well, because the first mistake I feel people make is that they don't really do it enough, but also they do make a lot of errors with their technique as well. So obviously we want to sort of clear all that up. Now, a lot of the time, another thing that people do often is they tend to do the sort of typical exercise class sort of routine, not always, but where they often hammer out lots and lots of half squats, so where they don't really go down far, only to about here, and then they keep hammering them out constantly like this, which is all well and good, but if you do that all the while, you tend to turn your sort of strength workout into more of a cardio workout, which is great for strength endurance, but I feel that you sort of lose the quality of the repetitions, and therefore it probably has sort of less of an effect. So we want to obviously slow them down a bit and actually go deeper into the squats as well, because it's all well and good doing the half squats, but we're not actually using the muscles through their full range of motion if we only go down halfway. That's not to say that the half squats don't have their benefits, because we are actually going to cover them in an exercise later on, but today I just want to look at the sort of deeper squats in order to get that maximum benefit. So it's more quality, not quantity, really, which is what I'm all about. So before we get started, I just want to go through a few sort of technical points with this, okay? So firstly, we want to make sure that we're standing correctly before we go into the squat. Something that I often see people doing and making the mistake, just either with their standing posture or with their squatting posture, is that they have their feet facing forward. So just standing like this, I can actually feel my knees internally rotating, which is going to be shortening through my adductor muscles in my groin. We don't want that obviously to happen, so we want to actually have our feet out at sort of 10 to 2, like on a clock face. We also want to have our feet sort of just over shoulder width apart when we're doing this as well, and when we go down we want our knees to track probably at least in the middle of the foot, but probably more towards the outer foot as well. So often people tend to collapse in like that through the shortness in the groin, so obviously don't allow that to happen, and that's sort of typical of a lot of running styles as well, like I talked about earlier on with that sort of knock knee sort of motion. Okay, so if we look from the front, you can see that my knee alignment is okay. Now it's quite interesting actually, because you know, in this position that I'm in now, we should actually naturally be able to get into this position, because when you think about it, when we're toddlers, when we're playing, we spend a lot of time in this position, you know, and quite comfortably as well, but we tend to lose that ability as we get older, probably as we get tighter through our bad habits like sitting posture, etc. So this is going to be great in order to sort of open out your groin muscles, open out your hip flexor muscles, and also work those glutes through a really good range of motion as well. So then when we come back up, we want to sort of push through our heels, okay, so not through our forefoot. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but if we look from the other angle, so from a side on angle, there's also a couple of things that we want to look at as well. So if I go down again, you can see that actually my back is relatively straight. Now I must admit that this isn't my best exercise, because I do actually have a personal biomechanical sort of dysfunction that I'm trying to improve, which does mean that I struggle to get my lower back perfectly straight. But if you just do as best as you can, your weight should be sort of tilted back onto your heels, okay? So you should almost feel like you want to fall back. And also, if you notice where my knees are, they're not over the front of my toes. So if you were to draw a line, a vertical line down from my knees to my toes, you'll find that the alignment on my knee isn't over my toe just here, which is what we don't want. A lot of runners particularly find it difficult because their heels often come up in this position like that, okay, because probably tightness in the soleus muscles in the calf. Okay, so we obviously want to make sure that those heels are planted, and we want to stick our bum back. Okay, because if we stick our bum back, that's going to be better for our knees and our back, but it's also going to allow us to engage those glutes a bit more. So again, when we come up, we want to push through those heels. Okay, so I'll do another one again, a little bit slower. So we want to keep that back as straight as we can, and then push through the heels rather than coming up by pushing through the forefoot. So if you want to come back round, so what I want you to try and do is just do a few like that to begin with, in order to sort of get the technique. And then what we can do, I want 2 challenges today. Firstly, I want you to see how long you can sort of hold that position. So it's going to be really good for our flexibility, opening up those groins and hip flexors like I mentioned, and also working those glutes. So it's that isometric contraction, that isometric hold. But then as well, what we can do a few more perhaps to failure, where we're sort of going down and coming back up, okay? And it won't actually take you long before you start to struggle. Now, if you do struggle to get down, just go down as far as you possibly can while maintaining good form, okay? As soon as your form starts to deteriorate, that's a sign where we want to obviously stop that. So for example, if you can only get down this far while keeping that back straight and keeping those glutes engaged, then just go down this far, because any further is probably going to do more harm than good, okay? So you want to feel the stretch, okay? Now stretching should be uncomfortable but not painful, okay? And just see how you get on with that. So that's today's challenge for you. Remember to keep liking, commenting, etc. It would be good if some more of you could send in a few pictures of what you're doing, as well as your comments as well, just to make it a bit more interesting. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 18.